You are not the problem. You're not the reason why things went wrong. You're not the reason why this person is treating you badly. You're not the reason why you keep getting let down. You're not the reason why you can't get promoted at work. You're not the reason that life is not treating you properly. Sometimes it's not you. And I think we can very easily, as human beings, put all the blame on ourselves and think that we're not good enough, we're not doing enough, and we're not strong enough. And that is a very unhealthy and very dark place to be in. And if you stay in that place for a long time, it can be extremely damaging. And I say this from first-hand experience. Life is really weird and tricky and confusing, and I think it's hard enough as it is. And the last thing you need to do is to be beating yourself up and putting pressure on yourself to be perfect and making yourself feel like all the things that go wrong in your life are simply down to your inadequacy as a human being. It's not true and it's not fair. And I make these videos and I say these things because these are things that I have realized and that have helped me stay motivated or help me get through difficult time periods. And often, sometimes I'm also going through them as I make the videos. And I say these things in the hope that one person will watch this and will relate, or it will help them, or it will help them see things differently. And that's the main reason I do this, is because for me, it's kind of like self-therapizing and like a diary entry, and it's cathartic. And I also think that it is things that we don't necessarily talk about and that I don't even often really talk about with my friends. But I think it's something that's really important and has really been helpful to me to just sit down and think about the way I view life and view myself. I'm going to give you an example, right? I think if you are applying for a job that you want and you don't get the job, I think the first thing you kind of assume is, I wasn't good enough, I wasn't qualified, they didn't like me, and the list goes on. And of course, some of those things might be true, but also it might just be that they wanted someone with more experience, and so that just meant that you don't have the experience. You couldn't have got that job, and it's not your fault. It doesn't make you a bad employee. It just means that you weren't right for that job. Or it might have been that actually they hired someone internally, and so that's why they end up not going with you because you were applying externally. But I think it's very easy to assume that you are not good enough, and that's the reason that you didn't get the job, right? Or if at work, for example, things just aren't going right, you're working hard, you're trying your best, you know you're doing a good job, but you're not getting promoted or getting the feedback you deserve. Yes, you can assume that I'm just terrible and I need to stay and work hard forever and keep grinding and beg for them to promote me. But actually, the other thing to realize is that maybe it's just that you're not in the right place. Maybe the job is not the right job for you. It's not the right title, or the manager you have isn't a manager that's supporting you and encouraging you and helping you with your development. So of course you're not getting to where you should be, because actually maybe they don't want to promote you. And it might be the difference of being bold enough to say, actually, I'm going to look externally for another job. I'm going to push myself and go somewhere else and apply an interview. And then you get to that place, and actually in that place you thrive. So it might not be you, it might just be the circumstance and situation you're in, but it's very easy to be like, it's me that's the problem, and it's me that's not good enough to excel and get to where I want to. And that's just an example. I think it's an easy one to understand because again, it's just about perspective, but I think we've all, or most people have had, or are working to understand that kind of job dynamic. And then I think if you look at friendships, right, you might have a friend that continuously lets you down or disappoints you or is arguing with you or is always causing drama and starting arguments. And it's, again, very easy to say to yourself, oh, actually, it's because they don't like me enough, or they don't want me to be their best friends, they don't care, so they treat me poorly, or I'm not a good enough friend, I'm not there for them. But that also might not be the case. It might just be that that person expects way too much of you and you've done more than you can, and so the person is just needy. And so actually it isn't about you not being a good enough friend. Or maybe that person just has other friends, and if that is the case, it doesn't mean you're not good enough to be a friend, it just means that person isn't the friend for you. Or if that person treats you poorly, then actually it's not about you not being good enough. It's that that person doesn't understand how to be a good friend, doesn't understand what it means to be present and support and love someone. And so that doesn't mean that you're not good enough. It just means you're expecting something from someone that cannot give that to you, because that person doesn't have the capacity to be a good friend. And this is something that I used to really overanalyze and worry about and think about. And why would this person treat me like this? And surely if they love me, surely if they care, then they would do this, because I see them doing it with other friends. But I had to learn to think it's not me. And this is cliche as it might be, it's not me, it's them, right? Like, this person isn't able or willing to provide or be the friend that I want. And so it's not that I'm not good enough or that I don't deserve that. It's just I'm not going to get it from this person. I'm going to get it somewhere else. And I think, again, with your goals, right? I think whatever your motivation is, or your passions, or your hobbies, or things you want to achieve, or things you desire in life and you don't have them currently now, you might start to think, I'm not going to get them because I don't deserve them, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not smart enough, or I'm not working hard enough, or it's just not going to happen to me, or I'm not pretty enough or good looking enough, or I'm not in a good enough shape to be posting online, or I'm not talented enough to be a writer. But I challenge you to not internalize that as a voice, and actually say to yourself and remind yourself and affirm yourself daily that actually I am good enough, I am able, I am talented, and actually I can get the things that I want. It might be hard and it might not look like the progress or might not be as linear as I thought it would be, but I can still have those things. And it might be that actually maybe you're pursuing something in the wrong way. So maybe you're actually, you're trying to start a business and you are just trying to do it on your own. You're not telling your friends about it. You're not letting anyone help you, and actually maybe letting someone help you or getting support from people might actually allow you to grow that business in a different way. Or maybe you want to be a writer and you're saying, I'm never going to make it, and I write and I'm not good enough. But if you're actually not putting your content out there or your stories out there for people to read and letting people engage and give you feedback so you can progress and learn, how are you ever going to get to a place where you can be someone who's written a book and is published? I think sometimes you can tell yourself that I'm not good enough, but you're actually not allowing yourself or giving yourself space to achieve and get to where you want to. And that doesn't mean that you're the problem and that's the reason why it's not happening. Also, I think sometimes it's just about luck and timing. And sometimes it's not that what you're making or creating or putting out there or pursuing or doing isn't good enough. Just at that moment, it's not your time, right? Because maybe it's just unfortunate, again, if we think about social media and creative things, like there are so many artists and singers and musicians and writers and content creators that it might not happen for you as soon as you wanted or when you wanted to, but that doesn't mean it's never going to happen. Doesn't mean it can't happen. Doesn't mean you're not good enough for it to happen too. And I think a lot of people do give up because it is difficult to stay motivated and sustain those things and be passionate and keep going and doing those things that you want to do. But I think it doesn't mean that you are the problem, you're the reason why it's not happening. It just sometimes comes down to the algorithm or faith and luck. And if you can keep pushing enough to allow yourself to get to the point when it is your time, then that's going to happen for you. And I think it's something that's very hard to do, especially in the age that we live in where you can see everything online and there's so much visual stimulation reminding you of people succeeding continuously in the things that maybe you are passionate about and want to achieve. And so you might go online and see your friend has been published, or they've started working at a firm you wanted to work at, or they've gained some certain number of followers, or their clothing line is doing well. And then you think, well, okay, it happened for this person, so why not me? And you think, if then why not me? And that can be hard when you've been working at something consistently for a long period of time, and you think you're getting tired and you really want it to happen, but you're also thinking, how long can I keep going? And is this ever going to happen for me if haven't had it happen after all this time? But then you have to remind yourself that you don't know how long that person was doing that for, or what struggles they went through, or how hard it was for them, or what connections they had, or how they're able to secure those deals. And it doesn't mean that because they have it that you can't have it. I think that's one of the things that's beautiful about the age we live in, is that there are so many people digesting, consuming, engaging in different forms of media that whatever you want to do, there is space. It's just about creating that space for yourself to be able to do that thing and making time so people can see you for who you are. And also comes down to being able to be confident enough in yourself to exist authentically and actually pursue what you really want to do, and actually being honest with yourself about what is it I really love and care about, and what is it I want to do with my life, and what are my actual passions, and being bold enough to say, this is what I want to do. And if it's singing or writing or whatever it is, or dancing, whatever, and pursuing that and giving that your all, and not holding yourself back by thinking you are the problem and you are not good enough and you're the reason you can't do that. Because if you stop yourself from starting, you can never win. And all of this is to say really that you only become the problem if you allow yourself to become the problem. If you let yourself fall into a slump and you give up on yourself and you stop being motivated and you're not consistent, you don't keep chasing and doing something every day, just a little bit to help you get towards what you want to achieve and what you care about and to become the person you want to become, then you can say you're the problem. If you're being lazy and you're not showing up for yourself, you're not taking care of yourself, and you're not, holding yourself accountable and, being truthful about the things you say you want to do, then that's the only time that you're going to end up failing. And I think that's going to be the most disappointing thing, is getting to a point in your life where you look back and realize that the only person you can blame is yourself. So don't let that be the case. Pick yourself up, keep going, and remind yourself that it's not you, it's you against the world. And as long as you keep pushing and reminding yourself that you can achieve what you want, you will get there. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it useful and I hope you can relate. I hope it made you feel a bit better and feel a bit more motivated to keep going. We're on this journey together. Keep going. We can do this.